Who is the #1 Iowa Hawkeye of all time? It may shock you to know that it's not Spencer Lee, at least not yet.
Go Hawks!
Of Iowa's 55 individual national champions, only 10 have made this list. Cracking at that number 10 spot is a wrestler who defined the Iowa Hawkeyes program all the way back in the 1940s. After flying 18 missions in Germany during World War II, Joe Scarpello became an Iowa Hawkeye. Scarpello was Iowa's first two-time national champion and first four-time All-American. He finished with 2 undefeated seasons at 175 pounds when he won his 2 titles. Speaking of undefeated seasons, Mark Ironside also finished with 2 undefeated seasons, including a 67-match winning streak that led to 2 NCAA titles. Ironside wrestled at 134 pounds and most impressively won the Hodge Trophy in 1998. This is the Heisman Trophy of the college wrestling world. He was the first ever Hawkeye to win this accolade. The next wrestler on this list actually coached Ironside during that Hodge Trophy season. Before he became a coach at Iowa in 1998, Jim Zaleski tore up the mat in the 1980s. While he started as a freshman by taking 5th at the national championships, he then went on to win 3 consecutive NCAA titles with his aggressive style. He finished his career 132, 7, and 1, and his 89-match consecutive win streak during that time is still the longest ever in Hawkeye history. At this point in the list, you may be saying, great, that's what happened in college, but are there any Iowa Hawkeyes who went on to win Olympic gold medals? As a matter of fact, yes, I'm going to tell you who those guys are in just a bit, and I'm also going to throw in a bonus by letting you know how to get 15% off your order with the Fanco. But at that number 7 spot is Joe Williams, who was an Olympian in 2004. He even won 2 bronze medals at Worlds in the early 2000s. And in college, he had a similar career to Zaleski by placing 7th as a freshman and then going on to win 3 consecutive titles. We're almost at the top 5, and just missing that spot at number 6 is Iowa's all-time career wins leader. He racked up 162 career wins, including 46 over 1 season. This is Barry Davis. If you ran into him at a tournament today, you may easily confuse him with Coach Dan Gable just based on looks alone. But all jokes aside, he certainly picked up some technique in Iowa-style wrestling by having Dan Gable as his coach in the early 80s.
Are you the greatest Iowa wrestler of all time?
I think I'm one of many.
He won 3 NCAA titles, and while he was still in college, even picked up an Olympic silver medal. That's right, still no gold medalists on this list yet, but we'll get there. The number 5 wrestler on this list may be a bit controversial based on stats alone, but Brent Metcalf didn't have the opportunity to compete for 4 full seasons. You see, at the time, there was no one-time transfer rule. While Metcalf started as a Hokie in 2005, he transferred to Iowa and wrestled all of his seasons there. And rest assured, he is the epitome of an Iowa Hawkeye. His dominant, shove your face in the mat, aggressive style of wrestling was unlike any other at the time. Throughout his career, he picked up some impressive victories, including over Jordan Burroughs en route to his 2008 NCAA title, where he ended up also winning his Hodge Trophy. The coach who Metcalf followed to Iowa is next up on this list. Tom Brands is a 3-time Big Ten and NCAA champion. He and his twin brother Terry were lightweight training partners who wreaked havoc on the mat. Combined, they racked up nearly 300 wins, with a third of those being pins. Of all the wrestlers remaining on this list, Tom Brands is one of 2 Olympic gold medalists, having won his medal at Atlanta in 1996. Currently under Coach Brands is a wrestler whose historic career is still underway. Depending on his final season, he can definitely move up the ranks in this list. But right now, Spencer Lee is at number 3, having won 3 NCAA titles in his first 3 seasons as a Hawkeye. Along the way, Spencer has also picked up 2 Hodge trophies. Nobody is able to defend his signature tilt, and he just racks up points continuously on his opponents.
Excuses are for wusses.
He may very well become Iowa's first ever 4-time NCAA champion, a huge accolade, if he can defend his weight class. And just as Spencer Lee can easily anticipate what shots are coming his way, you can anticipate that skin infections will be coming after you after a workout. I'm not just talking about ringworm and impetigo, I'm talking about dry skin and acne. All year long, in and out of the season, Defense Soap can help protect your skin by keeping it clean and healthy. Their natural products are crafted for wrestlers, ex-wrestlers, athletes, and people who just want to live a healthier life. If that's you and you want to defend yourself, you can go to Defense fansoap.com and enter code FANCO for 15% off your first order. So 2 spots remain, and of these last 2 Iowa Hawkeyes on the list, one is an Olympic gold medalist and one is an Olympic bronze medalist. The 2 Iowa Hawkeyes that are largely debated as being the best are Lincoln McIlravy and Ed Bannock. Both of these wrestlers have plenty of similarities. In fact, each of them won national titles in their freshman and sophomore years, only to be thwarted as juniors. But each of them rebounded as seniors to become 3-time NCAA champions. It's also no surprise that each of them were coached under Dan Gable. Let's take a look at McIlravy's career in the 90s. He won the Outstanding Wrestler in 1997, and during that season, he was also one of 5 guys from Iowa to win national titles, which was historic. He finished with a career record of 96-3 at 142 and 150 pounds.
Lincoln, congratulations. You're only the 2nd true freshman ever to win a national title.
Well, thanks a lot, Jeff.
McIlravy continued onward to win world titles and an Olympic bronze. So, how does Bannock compare?
Obviously, tonight I want to be a national champion, and then next year I want to go on and win another national championship.
Ed Bannock is part of another set of dominant brothers in Iowa history. He finished with a career record of 141-9. Of course, he wrestled in the 80s while McIlravy wrestled in the 90s. But more impressive than his career wins were his career pins, 73. That's over half of his wins and the most in Iowa history. That accolade, along with his 1984 Olympic gold medal just a year out of college, has to make Ed Bannock the best and perhaps most dominant Iowa wrestler of all time. But what about Iowa's rivals, Penn State? Who are their top 10 wrestlers of all time? And do they even compare to any of the guys on this list? You can learn more about that in this video right here. And if you're not clicking onward to watch that, make sure that you click like for more wrestling content.